Celebrating 7 years of being plant-based and they still say vegans only eat kale. I say no. Good morning friends, welcome back to this video. It's a very exciting video because a lot of you have submitted questions about my vegan journey. I celebrate 7 years of being vegan, which is actually wild this month. And along the way, I've learned a lot of things, I've eaten a lot of food, and I want to share all that with you. So today's video is going to be a bit of like a day in life, but also answering all your questions. I hope you enjoy it. I'm just having some natural pre-workout by Botanica. You can use our discount code. I will pop it in the notes. I'm off to Upstate Pilates here in Melbourne. Got the thing in. Otherwise, let's get into it. So I just finished Upstate Pilates. If you haven't heard of them, they're an amazing Pilates studio, boxing, reformer, all of that here in Melbourne, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of their ambassadors. It was super sweaty. I'm like, it's not well. My friend Naomi is about to come and meet me, and we're going to Green Cup, which is an acai bowl chain in Melbourne. We're heading to the one in Carlton. They've invited me in, so I thought I might go and show you guys what they have. I just love acai bowl all year round. Like some people are like, no, can only do it in summer. I'm like, duh, acai for life. Yum, check out this amazing vegan spread. This is the Kasundi kale and cheese toasty. We've got a classic acai bowl and just added some goodies. Nice little protein ball, some toast, some kombucha, and the sun is shining. Yeah, Nobes. Loves it. As I was walking to a cafe to do some work with Naomi, we stumbled across the Carlton farmer markets, and of course I had to duck in and get some delicious Brussels sprouts. Look how big they are. Okay, so on World Vegan Guide's account, Sydney Vegan Guide, Melbourne Vegan Guide, I asked you guys if you'd like to know anything about my vegan journey so far, so I decided to sit down with a cup of coffee and Binksy, who will join us for this, and answer the questions that you guys submitted. Say hello. Okay, let's do it. Thankfully, this hasn't happened to me too often. I did have in early stages when I guess I was new to being vegan and like not knowing about the products. I remember once in Bali, someone gave me meat and I ate it and I freaked out. Honestly, I think you get so in your head about it and you're like, oh, I feel so bad and guilty, but you just gotta remind yourself that every other day of the year you are doing the right thing, you're doing the vegan thing and not having animal products. So yeah, it's hard not to get caught up in it, but I just kind of like try to just forget about it and move on. Don't know if that's the best advice, but that's what I do. This one I get asked a lot of the time. It's definitely a dinner table conversation. Early days, I'd say I was definitely missing cheese. Like my drunk go-to snack was like peas with grated cheese or pasta with cheese or just like Parmesan cheese on everything. I used to put like Parmesan cheese on curries. Like I loved Parmesan cheese. Now it kind of smells like vomit. So I reckon they have nailed Parmesan vegan cheese, but the one thing they haven't now is like, you know, like shitty, like cheap Parmesan that comes in a shaker. They haven't got a vegan version of that quite yet that has hit the nail on the head. Other than that, I reckon we're pretty lucky in 2022 to be vegan. Okay, my friends will laugh at this because I always say that I'm not a sweet tooth, but then every single time we have a savory meal, I'm like, does anyone want to like, get ice cream or dessert or chocolate? So let's start with savory. I'm a savory lover and my favorite savory meal would be just like a big Buddha bowl. Like as much as I love pizza and all of that, the dream Buddha bowl for me would be like fluffles, hummus, crunchies. I'm a condiments so lots of like chili and crunchy bits on top. So a Buddha bowl would actually be like my favorite meal. I know that's pretty basic, but give me salad any day. And then sweet, I would say it's probably like an acai bowl. I don't know if you'd consider that like a meal, but if you're in Melbourne and you haven't been to Mr. Squeeze, I pretty much like peer pressured them into me being their ambassador. I was like, I am obsessed with your acai bowls. Please let me. Okay. Binks, are you right? We're trying to film something here. So yeah, acai bowl would be my favorite sweet meal. Definitely go and try Mr. Squeeze if you're in Melbourne. Yeah, so obviously I'm celebrating 7 years of being vegan this year, this month. I actually went vegan. Well, originally I was vegetarian for 2 years, and that's because my mum used to give us like lamb and like gross food I just didn't like. The only like meat I liked was like a schnitzel or a bit of like mince. I was super picky, and so my way of getting out of eating all like lamb and stuff was to be like, I'm veggie now. So then I started cooking for myself. At the time I was working at Boost Juice, and I was obsessed with this a vegan blogger on Instagram called Nourish Not Punish here in Melbourne. She was like posting lots about being vegan, and I posted something on my like old school foodie page called Recipes if you want to check it out. Maybe don't, because it's terrible content. But I posted something saying like, keep calm and like go veggie. And she was like, what about vegan? And I was so obsessed with that. I was like, I'm gonna be vegan, so she thinks I'm cool. And so I went vegan for a month, also because I was working at Boost and drinking way too much Mango Magic, like an illegal amount. And yeah, I went vegan for a month and was like, I'll just try it. And then I felt good, and I started to like discover new products, and I was like, yeah, like I can do this. And then 7 years later, here we are, the vegan queen. Ooh, I love this question. So initially, I definitely did it because of the animals. Like I have a really bad guilty conscience. So if like I know something or I see something, I can't unsee it. I actually never watch a lot of the documentaries that lots of people will recommend. Like I don't deal well with like animals like being slaughtered or seeing any of that. So I never watched any documentaries. I just wanted to go vegan basically for the animals and maybe for my health. 7 years ago, we didn't really talk about the environmental factors. We didn't talk about the science of it. It was just purely animals. Today, I've actually changed my answer in the last maybe 3 months since going to Bali on the plant-based fitness retreat. Today, I would say I am vegan for longevity and disease prevention, because I think that makes people think and question their own habits, as opposed to like, it's just for health or it's just for the environment, it's just for the animals, because that doesn't really, I guess, spark up a conversation. But if people are like, longevity, science, data, disease prevention, what does that mean? You're like, now we can talk about it. So yeah, that's my answer today. And of course, still the animals and still my health, because I've never been fitter, happier. And every time people are like, how do you have so much energy? I'm like, it's just the plant life, though. Yeah, look, this is hilarious, because when I told my mum I first went vegan, she was like, oh, you're just doing it because it's trendy and it's like the thing to do. And then I started to like girls, and she's like, you're just doing it because it's trendy and it's the thing to do. And I'm like, I still like girls and I'm still vegan. So my family, none of them are vegan. This often shocks a lot of people, even though I'm like very heavily involved in the vegan community. None of my family are vegan. A lot of them don't really like support it. My granddad's like, you need your meat and veg, like this is ridiculous. My grandma calls me a vegan. She doesn't even know how to say vegan. But a lot of them do get excited when they have like one vegan meal or one veggie meal and want to send that to me. Other than that, I wouldn't say they're unsupportive, they just don't really care that much, to be honest. But that's okay. I feel like I found my vegan family within like the community. So sorry parents, you need to show some more support for the vegan life. Yes, I do, and I'm going to pop a little slide here so you can see which tablets I take. I take Emil 8, which is Simon Hill's product, which is like an 8 nutrient vitamins tablet. I also take magnesium and zinc. I don't take them every day because I forget some days, but I try and take them most days. So I do actually get all my bloods tested every 6 months or so. If you follow Simon Hill, who's like my science guru guy, he has a template which you can take to your doctor, and it gets all the things that you need to get tested if you're a vegan, just to make sure you're doing it right and you are looking after your health. Obviously, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not going to give a professional opinion here, but I don't think it's necessary. There are so many amazing products with high protein in it already. I love the taste of protein, like Botanica blends. I just love it. Like I often carry around a tub of protein in case I go get an acai bowl and want to tip protein in. Don't tell me to squeeze that. But I don't think it's necessary, but you can definitely consult a vegan nutritionist or dietitian if you're concerned. But yeah, I feel like I get a lot of my protein just from plants and tofu and that kind of thing. And beans, we love beans. Yeah, people always ask me this, and I know you ask me this because I am like the vegan guide. Literally my brain is like an encyclopedia of different places to eat vegan around the world. And this is a hard question. It depends on like sweet, savory, dinner, breakfast. So on that, I would say my favorite spot for breakfast in Australia would probably be Buddha Bowl Cafe in Newtown in Sydney. It's just like so wholesome, so down to earth, no bullshit, just like good, hearty, nourishing, delicious bowls. I also love Conscious Cravings here in Melbourne and Monk Bodhidharma. Some great options there as well. For dinner, Lona Misa in Melbourne is pretty spectacular. But if you're just looking for like good, down to earth, like no bullshit takeaway, just for laughs, you have my soul. It's like salad and falafels. You can go back and watch the falafel video that we did a few YouTube videos ago. There's so many good things. I can't just answer 3. Okay, let's definitely say like the fact that because I'm vegan, this is my now like career, my job, and I get to be a vegan content creator, like that is so cool. And I love seeing how much veganism's grown. Like I think the community around it is such a massive part of what's kept me vegan. I would say definitely the food. Like the food is so good, and it's like such a thrill to find amazing food and also create amazing food, like the cooking. I fell in love with cooking because I had to learn new things. And I'd say the last one is like, honestly, some days I'm like, I'm having a shit day or I'm not feeling great, but then I'll just like go to bed and be like, actually, you're not contributing to any like slaughter or harm of animals around the world, and you're like focusing on a better environment for the future, potential kids one day, and your health. So I would say that as well, knowing that you have an impact is really cool. Look, this is what's interesting because a lot of people came hard at me when I spoke that I got the vaccine, and you might be watching this and want to go hard again. People go hard at you because I have a cat and potentially don't feed it, you know, vegan cat food. I just think the definition of veganism is to do it to the extent possible. It is a privilege to be vegan. It is a privilege to have choice. And so I completely respect people that just want to do it to the best of their ability. And I think we turn people off going vegan or transitioning to a more plant-based diet by being like, you have to be 100% nothing, like you can't wear leather, you can't do this, like all these rules around it actually turn people off. So we just support people to be more like, I'm vegan 90%, or like I eat vegan at home, or like I define veganism, it doesn't define me. That's kind of how I live my life, and you do it to the best of your ability. But yeah, I would identify as vegan, yeah. I'm like, here's my badge, I'm Renee, I'm bi, also vegan, love cats, and love falafels. It brings me so much joy finding good vegan food, and today we're off to Friends of Earth, which is a beautiful vegan cafe here in Collingwood, to get a vegan sandwich. It's only $5 for half of one. What a bargain. And of course, I'm wearing my vegan boots and this beautiful Sans Beast bag too. I fucking love it. I love it. Like, look how happy I am. I genuinely just, like, I smashed out 2 half marathons in the last year, doing another one. My fitness is amazing. My mental health is really great. I just love it. I love being vegan. I love the color of food. I love how it makes me feel. I love feeling nourished. And I think it's had such positive implications on my health and well-being in all aspects. It's the best. And also people often say I don't look my age, and I'm like, duh, the vegan life. Joking, but not. Ooh, I like this one. I would say find people in the community, like join some Facebook groups, follow Melbourne Vegan Guide, Sydney Vegan Guide, all the guides. A lot of people, when they try to go vegan, they go straight for like potatoes and mock meats, and like then they don't feel so great. So I would say exploring like diversity, following some really cool like bloggers or people that create recipes is really helpful, and going out and exploring the vegan food, because once you try it, you're just like, oh my God, this is so good. Of course I could do this all the time. But definitely finding people in the community will help you, because when I first went vegan, I knew no vegans. I had no vegan friends, and I reached out to someone in Newcastle and was like, hey, I saw that you're vegan. Do you want to hang out and go get some vegan food? And then we hosted vegan picnics. And she's actually the reason why I started like Sydney and Melbourne Vegan Guide, because she had Newcastle Vegan Guide at the time. And then slowly I added more to the brand, and then bought Newcastle off her. So you never know where it can lead you. Ooh, people often ask me this one, and I think the word plant-based, like when I consult for restaurants and give advice, I guess, around like, I actually can't with you. Back to this. So plant-based, I think, can be predominantly plant-based. You just like eat predominantly plants, and that could still kind of mean that you eat dairy or eggs or meat from time to time. Vegan is probably more defined as like, it's actually a lifestyle. It's what you wear, it's what skin products you use, it's your nails, it's your hair, all of that. So I would say I like the word plant-based better. I think it's more approachable and a bit more friendly and less like stereotypically like hardcore. So when I'm consulting for a lot of restaurants and things like that, I do advise them to maybe just celebrate plants or plant-based as opposed to being like, we're vegan and we're only vegan. But for me, I guess, like, just to make it easier, I am 100% vegan. But I would say then I eat more of a whole foods plant-based diet, if that makes sense. Okay, let's start with the worst part. The worst part has nothing to do with the food. It has nothing to do with like anything other than the terrible banter that you deal with daily. Like people thinking they're so funny, people sending you memes of meat, people sending you like vegan memes, acting like they're the first ones to tell you about this really funny joke. Like someone sent me a video of meat today on Instagram and was like, oops, wrong person. No mate, you sent that to me for a reason, because they just want to get a reaction out of you. And it's really funny because a lot of people will like make banter with you, but I just know it's their own conscience being like, oh, I feel bad because I'm not, and I know what's happening. And actually we spoke about this on radio the other day, and Brendan Favola said on air that he hates it because he just knows vegans are right. He's like, I know, 100% you're right. You're right about the environment, you're right about your health, you're right about the science, but I just like the taste of meat. So I think a lot of the banter around it is probably the worst part about it. I don't struggle, obviously living in Melbourne, getting access to it, and I think it's becoming really affordable, which is really cool to see. The best part is the fucking people in this community. Like I'm obsessed with my vegan pages. I love networking. I love the people I've met. I love going to different countries and traveling and trying all the different food. So yeah, it's all just the best. It's the best. And also having like an influence on the environment's like pretty cool. Oh my God, this is a funny one. So when I went to Splendor on the Grass, maybe like 3 years into being vegan or plant-based, I was like drunk and was like, I'm gonna have some tasty cheddar cheese on my pasta. And my partner at the time was like, don't do it. No, like you're gonna regret it the next day. And I was like, no, like I'm just craving it. Like I have to have it. I didn't have it because I knew I'd probably feel like bad the next day. But yeah, I don't really crave anything because I feel like you can get things. But it would be interesting to see if things change when someone was pregnant, because I know the cravings can like go up a lot then. I think the weirdest thing is just like salt and vinegar chips, or some things that I really love. Like a lot of them have milk powder in them, which is like shit. So I do miss like being able to eat all the salt and vinegar chips and not having to worry about the milk powder. But other than that, no random cravings really. I just don't think I ever thought about going back. Yeah, the more I got into it, now it's kind of like my job. And I do think about it, I'm like, what happens if I wanted to not be vegan? Because I'd probably have to come out to like the online community is like, hey, I'm no longer vegan, because it's actually my job now. Like I'm pretty much paid to be a vegan blogger, which is a privilege and so cool. But I do think about this, I'm like, what happens if one day I just wanted to have something? And full transparency, like I have recently occasionally been eating oysters because I did a bit of research and apparently they don't have a central nervous system or any feelings. That could be controversial. You might disagree with that, but that's what I'm doing and I'm owning it. And yeah, I think I'll always be vegan, which is exciting. And unless of course like something went really wrong with my health, but other than that, I think vegan is the life for me, and maybe it's the life for you. This is a funny question. I actually don't really love a lot of mock meats, like not because they don't taste good or I just don't like how they make me feel, but because I'm a vegan blogger, I often eat a lot of products that I wouldn't usually like. So I actually find like a lot of the meat patties too real, like too intense. Like the Beyond Burger, I had it the other day when I was at the Snow for work and I was like, oh, are you sure this is like, yeah, and I appreciate them for what they are, but it's like the beefy taste that I don't like. I do like a little bit of mock chicken, but yeah, beefy taste, it's no good for me. No thanks. Ugh. Ooh, I would say you guys, to anyone that follows all my accounts, having you there and knowing that hopefully I'm helping you find delicious vegan food. Like I'm really passionate about not wasting tummy space on bad food, because we only have limited tummy space per day and it needs to be a fuck yes every time for me. So thank you so much to all of you that have followed my pages, engaged in it. I think knowing that I had the impact on the environment, now knowing the science, I just can't unsee that. And I think once you see that and learn about that and find compassion within that, you will just keep staying. Thank you for congratulating me. I'm proud. 7 years, baby. It's come such a long way, like going to the grocery store now and seeing all the amazing vegan food and products. Like I was used to going to menus and being like at a cafe, okay, I can get the smashed avocado and that's it. And now it's like, there's a whole menu of vegan food. What the heck? Yeah, so I always end up with 2 meals because why not have both? So tonight I'm actually off to my best friend Emily's house for a dinner. What's really cool is that when I first was vegan, none of my friends were vegan, and now a lot of my friends are vegan, which is really, really cool. I actually influenced Emily to go vegan, and she's still vegan, which is cool. So never underestimate your influence. I'm gonna go do some vegan guide work because I love you all, and I'm currently spilling beans on my phone. And then I will show you guys what we have for dinner. Gals night. I swear I've changed clothes today, but I'm just missing. A Phoenix, that's my butt. We're here for an absolute spread. I told it. Oh my god, and there's dessert. Okay, Emily Walter, what do we have?
Well, thank you very much. Okay, we have vegan nachos with crumbled tofu and corn and black beans. Then we have just like corn and black beans and mushrooms, Brussels sprouts, an Asian like noodle dish with
Is this a buffet? I've actually come to a buffet.
It's an American buffet. Welcome to the buffet.
I don't do well with buffets.
And vegan Reese's.
Are you kidding? Oh my gosh. And how long have you been vegan for, Emily?
How long have I been vegan? Actually a year and 9 months. Thank you very much.
Yes! Could have had 2 babies in that time.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
You're so
Yum, girls' night.
I also made you kasundi.
What? Mary's made me kasundi. We had kasundi today at a cafe and I loved it. And now she's made me some. I don't deserve you women.
No.
Oh yeah, homemade Reese's Pieces, baby. Just got home from what was such an incredible dinner. That buffet was actually insane. I ate way too much. Had a really nice big walk and just a really nice reflective moment of being like, heck yes, I have been vegan for 7 years. I never thought I'd be vegan. You might not think you can be vegan, but you can, and it's the best. And I'm really tired and I have to get up at 3:30 a.m. for work, so I need to go to bed. Good night. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you'd like to give it a big thumbs up, comment below. If you have any questions, my DMs are always available and opened. So cheers.